Today we are going to study about sewage treatment. The content of this class include what is wastewater, what are the sources of wastewater, the purpose of wastewater treatment and various steps of wastewater treatment that include preliminary treatment of wastewater, primary treatment, secondary treatment and tertiary or final treatment. First, we should know what is wastewater. By simply saying it is used water. The wastewater is water that has been used and must be treated before it is released into another body of water so that it does not cause further pollution of water sources. Next, the sources of wastewater. Number 1, household wastewater. Everything that you flush down your toilet or rinse down the drain is called wastewater. Second one, rainwater. That means the rainwater run off along with various pollutant. And finally, the wastewater comes from agricultural and industrial sources. Many of the industries uses a large amount of water for their process. Once it is used, they simply run out the water into wastewater plant. Some wastewater are more difficult to treat than other wastewater. For example, industrial wastewater can be difficult to treat, whereas the domestic wastewater is relatively easy to treat. Next, we go for wastewater treatment. The purpose of wastewater treatment is in order to remove contaminant from wastewater so that the treated water can meet the acceptable quality standard. The quality standard usually depends on whether the water will be reused or discharged into river. Then the method of wastewater treatment depends on the composition of wastewater and the required quality for treated water. The other purpose of wastewater treatment include to reduce the strength of sewage, to make wastewater less offensive, to prevent public health from toxic effect of pollutant and to conserve the nature. These are the some other purposes of wastewater treatment. Based on the type of treatment, the wastewater treatment is classified into 3 types. Number 1, physical treatment. Number 2, chemical treatment. And number 3, biological treatment. In the physical treatment, large suspended and floating materials are easily removed by using filtration. Next, the chemical treatment method utilizes chemical characteristic of pollutant for purification. In this method, the dissolved chemicals are easily removed. And the last one is biological treatment. This method utilizes biological characteristics of pollutant, such as by using bacteria and viruses, the purification of wastewater can be processed. This biological treatment method include the trickling filter, activated sludge, rotating biological contractor and digester. Next we discuss about the various steps of sewage treatment. The first step is preliminary treatment of wastewater. The main objectives of this method is to remove gross solid material such as the plastic wastes, cloth material, water cans and dead body of some animal, grit and fat from the wastewater. Some of the treatment technique which are applied for preliminary treatment purposes are screening, grit removal and skimming. In the screening process, solid waste such as plastic, cloth, dead animal from the wastewater are removed. For this purpose, the wastewater is passed through a metal screen which consists of vertical or inclined steel bar which is usually set up 5 cm, and the wastewater obtained in screening process are disposed by burning or composting. Next, grit removal. Grits are small particles which are non-biodegradable plastic and heavier than suspended organic matter. They are easily removed by regulating the flow velocity of sewage in grit removal tank. The last one is skimming. In this process, the fat and oily material present in the sewage can be removed. For this purpose, the sewage is placed in skimming tank and it is aerated from bottom so that the fat and oils are collected at the top of the liquid, and which are then removed by skimming. The second step of sewage treatment is primary treatment of wastewater. Once the gross solid, grit and fat are removed, next we go for primary treatment in order to remove the suspended solid as much as possible in the wastewater. The main objectives of primary treatment is to reduce the strength of sewage by removing suspended material. Some common technique applied for primary treatment of sewage are sedimentation, mechanical flocculation, chemical flocculation and neutralization. In sedimentation, the sedimentation tank is used for removal of suspended solid and some organic matter. There are different types of sediment tank are used for sedimentation. The common example is rectangular horizontal flow tank. In this tank, the sewage is flow very slowly so that the solid present in the wastewater settled at the bottom of sedimentation tank. Then the settled solids are periodically removed by sludge scraper, and this technique removes about 90% of suspended solid and about 40% of organic matter which are present in the sewage. Second one, mechanical flocculation. In this method, the sewage is placed in a flocculation tank and the sewage is rotated at a speed of 0.43 meter per second with the help of rotating pedal. During this process, the small dissolved solid which are attached to each other to form large size solid, and then it is settled down. The third one is chemical flocculation. In this method, the sewage is placed in coagulation tank and then some precipitating agent are used. So the commonly used precipitating agent is alum. The alum precipitate the suspended solid present in the sewage and then it is gradually settled down at the bottom. And the last one is neutralization. Suppose if the sewage is highly acidic or basic, it is neutralized by adding base or acid in order to facilitate the growth of microorganism during secondary treatment process. Next, we go for secondary treatment of wastewater. In secondary treatment, the dissolved or colloidal organic matter which are present in the sewage are removed by utilizing microorganism. In this step, the microorganism utilizes organic matter and converts them into organic minerals. In secondary treatment, the following changes occur in sewage. They are: the organic matter is oxidized into carbon dioxide and water. Then the organic nitrogen compounds are first converted into nitrogen and then converted into nitrate. And the last one is the colloidal matters are coagulated or precipitated out. The main purpose of secondary treatment is to reduce BOD level. Various techniques are used in secondary treatment of sewage are trickling filter, oxidation ditch, activated sludge system and septic tank. Trickling filter consists of filtering bed, spraying arm and water collecting chamber. The filtering bed consists of well graded gravel, that means the broken stone, the sizes ranging from 40 to 150 millimeter. In this process, the effluent or sewage from primary treatment tank is sprayed uniformly over the filter bed. During filtration, a gelatinous layer of bacteria, algae, protozoa and fungi is produced on the surface of filter bed. The layer is called as zoological layer. As the water trickles through the filter bed, the organic matter present in the sewage is get oxidized by the microorganism layer present in the trickling filter. The trickling filter can reduce the BOD of sewage by about 65 to 85%. It depends on the rate of filtration. Next, oxidation ditch. The oxidation ditch consists of a circular canal with inlet and outlet. In this method, a sewage from primary treatment plant is placed in oxidation ditch and then it is agitated with the help of mechanical rotator and then left for a period of 12 to 24 hours. During the period of oxidation, the microorganism present in the sewage which oxidize the organic matter present in the sewage. Finally, the sewage is removed from the oxidation ditch through outlet. Then it go for tertiary treatment. The oxidation pond is also known as lagoon. It is a aerobic method of sewage treatment. In this method, the sewage from primary treatment is placed in an oxidation pond and left for a period of 10 to 40 days. During this process, the microorganism present in the sewage will oxidize the organic material present in the sewage. Third one, activated sludge system. The activated sludge system consists of aeration tank, settling tank and sludge return system. At first, the sewage from primary treatment is mixed with sludge drawn from previous batch, which is known as activated sludge or return sludge. Then, the activated sludge contain a large number of microorganisms and serve as inoculum of microorganism. After mixing with activated sludge, the sewage is placed in aeration tank. In aeration tank, the sewage is continuously aerated for 6 to 8 hours, and during this process, the microorganism oxidizes the organic compound present in the sewage, then converts into carbon dioxide, water and nitrate. Once the oxidation process is over, the sewage is passed to settling tank and left undisturbed for 2 to 3 hours. The obtained sludge is called activated sludge, which is fully oxidized and can be used as an inoculum for next batch of sewage. With the help of activated sludge system, the BOD of sewage is reduced up to 5 to 15%. The fourth one is septic tank. The septic tank is used for disposal of content of toilet where sewage system is not available for disposal. It is prepared under the ground. The sewage along with toilet content is placed into septic tank where heavier solid waste is settled down to form sludge, whereas the lighter solid including fat forms layer on the top of sewage. It is called as scum. In the septic tank, the organic compound present in the sewage are anaerobically digested with the help of anaerobic bacteria. The best example is methanogenic bacteria. After anaerobic decomposition, the sludge becomes stable and inoffensive. The fourth step of sewage treatment is tertiary or final treatment. In this process, the chemical and biological agent are completely removed from the sewage before it is disposal into river. The main objectives of tertiary treatment process include removal of suspended solid, removal of dissolved solid, removal of nitrate and phosphate, and killing of microorganism. The suspended solid present in the sewage are removed by two methods. One is micro staining, second one is chemical coagulation and filtration. Micro staining is achieved by using rotating drum filter. Then chemical coagulation is performed by adding alum. And finally, the precipitate with absorbed solid are separated by filtration. Then the removal of dissolved solid can be achieved by activated carbon system and reverse osmosis. The nitrate present in the sewage can be removed by adding denitrifying bacteria. The denitrifying bacteria converts the nitrogen into nitrogen gas, and the phosphate present in the sewage is removed by bacteria by means of microbial assimilation process. And finally, the killing of microorganism can be achieved by chlorination. By adding chlorine in the sewage, it kills many of the pathogenic microorganisms present in the sewage. This is about sewage water treatment. Now, I am going to explain about the anaerobic digestion of sewage sludge. In this class, I will tell about the goal of anaerobic digestion, design and construction of anaerobic digester, how the system works, what is the outcome of anaerobic digestion, the operation and maintenance of anaerobic digester, cost consideration, the advantages and disadvantages of anaerobic digester, and also the difference between anaerobic and aerobic treatment. Sludge is nothing but the solid waste obtained during wastewater treatment. Anaerobic digestion is one of the most widely used process for the stabilization of sludge during wastewater treatment. Based on the capacity, the anaerobic digester can reduce up to 50% of organic material present in the sewage sludge. Also, at the end product, the generated biogas with a high proportion of methane can be used as a energy source. The major goal of anaerobic digestion of sewage sludge is to reduce the amount of sludge that needs to be disposed. Anaerobic digestion is widely employed method for the treatment of sludge. In this process, a large fraction of organic matter is broken down into carbon dioxide and methane and This is accomplished in the absence of oxygen, and about half of the amount of is converted into gases and remainder is dried and becomes a residual solid. Let us see the advantages of anaerobic digester. The first one, the generation of methane as an additional source of energy. The major role of anaerobic digester is to reduce the amount of sludge. Even though at the final stage methane is produced, the methane can be used as a source of energy. Next, reduction of organic matter, then optimizing further treatment. In this process, the remaining sludge can be used as a soil conditioner and reduces the production of landfill methane is a greenhouse gas. Some disadvantages of the process are accumulation of heavy metals and contaminants in sludge, high capital cost, skilled manpower for design and construction, then high complexity to maintain optimal reaction. Next, we will see the design and construction of anaerobic digester. The anaerobic digester constructed like a septic tank with cement or stainless steel material with a large space. The tank is fully capped with one feed inlet and outlet for collecting digested sludge. Inside the digester, there will be a 4 zone will found. They are digested sludge, activated zone, supernatant and scum layer. The bottom layer is digested sludge. Above that, active zone will be present. Then supernatant, and the topmost layer is scum layer. It is consist of the fat and oily material. The feed is supplied at the top of the digester with the help of a pipeline, and the digested sludge will be collected at the bottom of the digester. Anaerobic digestion is the biological degradation of organic matter in the absence of free oxygen. During this process, much of the organic matter is converted to biogas such as methane, carbon dioxide and water. This process, also known as methane fermentation or anaerobic sludge stabilization. With the help of this process, we can reduce the organic content of sludge by 40 to 50%. Nowadays, there are two types of anaerobic sludge digestion will be used. Number one, low rate digestion. Number two, high rate digestion. The low rate digestion has a large tank, occasionally with some heating facility, but the high rate digestion operated with pre-thickening of raw sludge, complete mixing, heating and uniform feeding of raw sludge. I already told the digester tank is fully capped. The reason is in order to prevent oxygen from coming in and prevent the odor, and also capture the methane will be produced during the process. Next, we will see how the system will be work. The treatment of wastewater sludge from both primary and secondary treatment step consists of two main phases. In the first step, all incoming flow of sludge are combined and the mixture is heated to a mild temperature in order to enhance the biological conversion. The reaction mixture will be kept for 10 to 20 days. In the second step, the mixture is allowed to undergo further digestion and there is no longer active mixing in order to promote separation, and there is no need of heating as the process. It will generate heat its own process. In further processes, the settled sludge is dewatered and thickened. The major goal of the process is to separate as much water as possible to decrease the volume of material. Finally, this phase is known as sludge stabilization. It reduces the level of pathogen in the residual solid and eliminate offensive odor and also reduce the potential for putrefaction. Finally, the process converts about 40 to 60% of organic solid to methane and carbon dioxide. The chemical composition of the gas is 60 to 65% methane, 30 to 35% carbon dioxide plus small quantities of hydrogen, nitrogen, hydrogen sulfide and water. You all know methane is a most valuable because it is a hydrocarbon fuel commonly used for energy source. The residual organic matter is chemically stable, nearby odorless and contain significantly reduced level of pathogens. The dewatering process helps to thickening of the sludge in order to reduce its volume. It can be achieved with various methods like gravity thickening, gravity belt thickening, dissolved air flotation, and thickening centrifuge. In these, the gravity thickening can achieve up to 10% solid fraction. Then the gravity belt thickening and dissolved air flotation can achieve up to 6% solid fraction, but the thickening centrifuge can achieve up to 8% solid fraction. In anaerobic digestion, the sludge feeding or organic loading rate is expressed in terms of volatile solid. It is typically ranged from 0.5 to 0.6 kg volatile solid per meter cube per day. Then the retention time is usually about 1 month. In all of the anaerobic digester, there will be a 3 reaction will be takes place. They are hydrolysis, acidogenesis, and methanogenesis. Next, the process can be either thermophilic digestion, in which the sludge digestion is fermented in a tank at a temperature of 55 degrees Celsius, or in some cases it is mesophilic at a temperature range of 36 degrees Celsius. The digester can be designed with a batch or continuous configuration in either 1 or 2 stages. The operation and maintenance of anaerobic digester require a strict organization and the continuous involvement of experts. In some cases, there are many problems associated with its operation. They are over pumping of raw sludge, excessive withdrawal of the digested sludge, foaming, maintenance of optimum temperature, and inadequate mixing. So, in order to maintain the optimal condition for the microbial population, the nutrient should be added in the form of ammonium chloride, aqueous ammonia, urea phosphate salt, and phosphoric acid. The annual operation and maintenance cost is based on the labor hour, electrical energy, fuel energy, as well as the material and maintenance. Also, the thermophilic process required some heating system, it increasing the operation and maintaining cost. At last, we will see the difference between anaerobic and aerobic treatment. In anaerobic treatment, the reaction is carried out in the absence of oxygen. It is also known as anaerobic digestion. It is an energy efficient process in which microorganisms convert the organic material present in the wastewater into biogas in the absence of oxygen. The anaerobic digestion is often used to treat warm industrial wastewater, and the process offers several benefits over aerobic treatment, which include lower energy requirement, less chemical, and less sludge production. Then the sludge is stable and safe to use as a soil enhancer, and majorly methane rich biogas is also produced, which can be treated and used as a renewable energy. It helps to save money and the environment. But in aerobic treatment, the microorganism converting organic material into carbon dioxide and new biomass in the presence of oxygen. During this process, an aerobic microorganism requires oxygen so that the air must be continuously circulated throughout the tank. This aerobic treatment can be used specifically to remove nitrogen and phosphorus, which is also known as a biological nutrient removal system. And this process helps to discharge the wastewater very safely in the environment. Thank you.